Hey guys, we just drove up to Miami to do another boat tour for you.
We are here to tour the Smart Cat S280. It's the most affordable cruising catamaran that's brand new on the market, and we're really excited to see it.
So let's go take a look.
First impressions, Randy?
It's a pretty boat, very open because the salon area that we would normally see inside a catamaran is actually exposed outside, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, interesting layout. Lots of seating, so you can accommodate a lot of guests. So it has a very large hard bimini, but no window paneling at all. So interesting kind of concept where it's open to the environment.
Yep, it's an open cat design. This is the cockpit slash salon. Open, but covered. And there's your helm station, but we're gonna come back to this because we're gonna go forward first. But actually, before we go forward, the catamaran is powered by two 25 horsepower Yamahas. That'll be more than enough for this boat. I'm going down the sugar scoop a little bit just to give you guys a better view. And I believe this is probably the way you raise and lower those motors right there. Looking forward.
It looks like they're trying to get as much deck space as possible because I would say that the sugar scoops are a little shorter than a lot we've seen.
What Randy's talking about, if you look at the sugar scoops, they're very steep. Okay, so they don't gradually come out. And you know, to be honest, I'd probably rather see a sugar scoop come out a little bit farther. That's going to give you more buoyancy in the back. But this boat was designed for a different purpose than performance. It was designed for livability, cruising, entertaining.
A lot of room for solar. I'm looking at it and I'm just seeing like there's a lot of available space.
There's a ton of room for solar, probably a couple kilowatts at least. One on each side. And you've got a flat deck right here. Lots of space to walk.
I can move beneath the stay. I'm just saying that because of another smaller catamaran that we've been on to kind of compare.
So it looks like there's a single shroud on each side. No backstay. And then we have that forward stay right there. It's almost like a fractional rig. It doesn't go all the way to the top. Looking down, it looks like there's a structural beam right here, which I find that kind of interesting. I haven't seen that in a catamaran like this yet. Looking forward more.
These are called dolphin seats, right?
Yep. Got your dolphin seats on the bows.
This is a little different than most catamarans we've toured. I would say most of them are more flat forward, like the trampoline is more level with the deck.
Yeah.
Or at least closer to being level. Here it's kind of a step down.
Yeah, I think they did that so that this is kind of like
a seating area.
A seating area, so you can sit back here. And also, I would imagine that you're closer to the water, but if you're up here while you're sailing, you're actually a little safer in that area than you would be if you were
restrained.
Yeah. That's an interesting design choice. But we have basically a forward cockpit in a 28-foot catamaran, which is pretty crazy.
Commenting on safety, I noticed they did a triple lifeline forward too.
Yeah. Triple lifeline there.
So you've got your anchor and chain and it feeds back through a hawse hole. Do you want to go ahead and open up this cabinet?
Yeah, let's open that and see what's in there. There's your windlass and chain locker, storage. Very nice.
It's a lot of room.
It's a pretty good amount of room. These ones I don't think open, right? It doesn't look like these open. It's probably storage from the inside there. And another thing I have noticed that there isn't any looks like maybe the waste tanks are going to be in the bows because there aren't any ways to get into bow lockers. There's no bow lockers on this boat.
This is what is this outlet? Oh, it's water. It's just a different kind of hookup.
Okay, so that's probably your water tank then, and that's going to be your waste holding tank. Then you have your jib. This is a very, very small jib, it seems like, because this doesn't have that much forward length, so pretty small jib, but it does go to a self-tacker, which is very nice. That is convenient. The rig looks pretty simple. You've got your stack pack. Very manageable rig. All your lines look like they go back to the helm station. So they're going back that way, going back that way. Seems like a very, very easy, simple boat to sail. Those are the navigational lights.
It's interesting.
Which is I mean, the position of them, they're higher off the water.
Yeah.
So that's good for visibility.
I'm noticing hatches, they're all about this size, which is smaller than what we would normally see, but this boat is smaller than most of the ones
Yeah,
we've
this
toured,
is a smaller
so
boat.
everything's more compact, I guess.
But it is very wide, so this is a very, very wide catamaran for its length, and we'll talk about that more later. Going back, very, very wide decks. Nice flat deck, easy, safe to walk on. There's a lip here on the coach roof that you can grab onto, so you've got good handholds all the way back.
Oh, I was also thinking you were talking about water coming off, the way it would come out of the cockpit instead of into the cockpit salon area.
Yeah, that's nice. So I'm gonna go down on the sugar scoop here because I'm curious to see what's in this little opening hatch right here. Oh, there's your steering controls. So that's your steering controls for the rudders, I believe. And then you've got your 2 motors right there. Were you gonna say something?
I was just interested to see how these work, because obviously these seats are for when you're not sailing. But
Yeah, because your
traveler's under here. So I just was curious to see how these. Oh, they've got little. I see. There's like a clip. Yeah, I have long arms.
You have to do both at the same time?
It seems like it. No, you don't.
You don't? Okay.
I was just being silly. So
Okay.
then your traveler is then exposed.
That's your main sheet right there, and this boat has a pretty large mainsail, so I feel like it makes up for what it lacks in the headset with its main. It's got a bigger main.
And then you just pull it back up and it snaps back in place.
Yeah. So both those go down when you're sailing, and you've got a nice big traveler. Easy access from the helm station. You've got your other lines right there, and then some more lines right there. So everything's within reach from your helm station.
And it looks like every seating area here has a compartment under it, from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's look at the helm station first. This is your helm station. You've got your chart plotter, your wind instruments. I don't see a autopilot. I'm sure it's an option if it's not on this boat. But pretty good helm station. Very good visibility. 360-degree visibility. You're protected from the sun. It is open. I'm sure you could make some isinglass or some kind of covering if you needed it. If you look up right here, you can see your sails. There's a little window right there, so you can see your sails while you're sailing. And yeah, let's look at some of the compartments.
Battery.
So you've got storage, batteries under this compartment.
Oh, and your fuel.
And some fuel right there. What's under that? Anything?
Fuel tank.
And okay, so there's your fuel tank. Storage right there. It looks like this right here is like an access panel that you can pick up maybe for the steering and engine stuff. So we've got a U-shaped settee up here, and this lowers down, so this becomes a berth as well. And there's storage all under that, which is really cool.
Just didn't want to have to take off all of the cushions.
Yeah.
All right, so do we go down below?
Yep. So this is going to be the owner's hall. This is a 3-cabin, 1-head design. So going down the companionway. So we just came down the port companionway and we're looking aft. I'm using the GoPro now because it's a little bit wider of an angle. And this is going to be your owner's double berth right here. It looks like it's a little bit smaller than a full-size bed. 2 people can definitely sleep there, but it's not, you know, it's definitely not a queen size berth, and I wouldn't have expected that in this size of a boat anyway, which is okay. Looking forward,
you have kind of like a nav station, I guess.
Yep.
It's got your electric controls, a little work area. When we were looking at the electric,
we just kind of want to look a little bit at the guts of the boat, you know. So we've got some wiring right there. Got your panel. There's a battery charger behind that one. And then we've got storage below this countertop right here. Lots of storage down there, so. Cool. One concern is I would like to see some type of fiddle on this.
I did notice that this shelf had a fiddle.
Oh yeah, the shelves have fiddles, but the counter doesn't. And I know this is a catamaran, so it's not as necessary, but I still like to see it, because you still might get into some waves that'll knock stuff off the counter. So looking forward. So we've got a hanging locker in there. Good size hanging locker.
And then a wet head. Here, I'll let Jordan come in. I'll go out. Ah, you get my head.
So it's definitely a compact boat. And then there's your structural beam that we saw from the outside. This is just a covering. Yeah. So going forward, we've got the wet head. Looks like this is probably access to the holding tank.
Oh, yes, because I'm on deck. So.
Yep, that's access to your holding tank down there. A little bit of storage on top of the holding tank. You've got a shower. Got a head. You got your sink. You can close this off. And everything's molded fiberglass except for this door, so everything could be, you know, could get wet and it's fine. And then you've got lots of windows. That's one good thing this boat does, is that there's lots of lighting down below. So looking aft.
There is a lot of lighting because I realized as Jordan was saying that we still left everything covered, so.
Yeah, even.
It's still bright with all the coverings on.
But you've got privacy too, which is nice.
Right.
And I've seen there's multiple options for this area. You can actually make this like a bench too, I think. I would like to see maybe some kind of seat right here so you can kind of sit at like a desk area. That'd be nice.
You would lose the storage.
You'd lose a little bit of storage, but it would be nice to have like a little desk area. But yeah, I mean, this is only a 28-foot boat, you know?
Yeah, it feels big for that. All right, to starboard?
Yep. Going down into the starboard side. So this is going to be where your galley is. This is going to be where your guests sleep as well. So we're looking at the galley first.
All right, so the galley, you have a dual burner, looks electric, induction cooktop.
It looks like it's electric. I don't know that it's induction, but it's definitely electric.
Ooh. So you have some more counter space. There's a cover for the sink, but that's a good size sink, not too deep either, so you're not wasting a lot of water. Microwave, refrigerator,
and more storage. The footprint here is exactly the same as the footprint over there. Looking aft, you've got another double berth right here, same as the other side. And then looking forward,
you have a single berth. That actually looks really comfortable though for a single.
Yeah, for one person, this looks it's almost like a cradle for a person.
Yeah.
It would cradle you and comfort you, and yeah. So you've got a single berth right here, unless you've got two small people that are very close to each other.
No, you'd have to be extremely close.
Yeah. So, but that's basically it, guys. I mean, this is only a 28-foot boat. It has a lot of accommodation.
It has a lot of accommodations, a lot of good features for a 28-foot.
Mm-hmm. You got to think this is only 1 foot longer than Somnium was.
Yeah. Well, you've got this is
but
like
a lot wider.
Completely different than a monohull that's 28 feet. That's for sure.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna do my continuous below decks walkthrough, and I'm starting in the starboard side bow. All right, starboard side bow. This is the single berth. Looking aft, we have the galley. Aft of that, we have a double berth. Looking to port. We're going up through the companionway. We've got the open deck, open cockpit area. Going down into port side. Looking aft, we've got another double berth, the owner's double berth. We've got your nav station, storage. Forward of that, we've got a hanging locker and your full head.
All right, so Jordan was so excited to see this boat, so I want to go ahead and start with his thoughts.
Now, this boat, I mean, I was very excited to see it, and I'm still excited about it. I think it's a really cool boat. I think that there is a gap in the market for a more budget-oriented, affordable, newer cruising catamaran that's also smaller. And I think that this boat definitely fulfills that gap. Now, that being said, there are limitations to it because it is a budget boat. You know, it's a smaller boat, it's a budget boat. But I think this boat would be good for coastal cruising. I think it would be good for weekending. I think it would be good for just a fun all-around boat. It's got its strengths, and its strengths are, you know, basically accommodation. You know, for a 28-foot boat, this boat has a ton of accommodation.
I think you hit the nail on the head, really. It's filling a niche in the market for a small cruising catamaran that you can enjoy. It's fairly livable, like, for, like you said, like weekends, short stays, like, I don't know, like, permanent live aboard situation, because ideally I would think an enclosed cockpit, and they do have a version of this where it's like 3/4 enclosed and just the back is open, which would be it would be interesting to see that version as well. But yeah, there's a lot of living space even though it's just a 28-foot boat, which most people would think like a 28-foot catamaran you're not going to get much space at all. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's its strength, is the fact that it's small, easy to handle, affordable to run. It's only got 225 horsepower outboards on the back. I mean, maintenance on this boat's not going to be that much. Moorage might be a little bit because of the beam. I'm not really sure on that.
Yeah, it is very beamy, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
but
it's a very wide boat, and its beam to length ratio is huge. It's over 60%. It's 17.5 feet wide. It's 28 feet long. Really good beam to length ratio, and I think they did that, A, one, for safety, but B, also for accommodations. That gives you this giant cockpit that we're in right now in such a small boat. We talked about basically all its good things. What are going to be the limitations, you think?
Limitations? The lack of a formal salon. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because that gives you, like in heavy weather, I would rather be in an enclosed area than in an exposed area. I would say, I don't know yet, because we're actually, if you're interested, we're going to do a sail on this boat, so we'll be able to talk a little bit more about performance.
We're going to be going for a sail in a little bit, but that's going to be in a separate video.
video.
As far as sailability, I said earlier in the video, this would be a great coastal cruising boat, maybe a day sailor, weekender. I would not cross an ocean on this boat. You know, I don't think it was built for that, although it has a lot of beam to it. It has very stubby sugar scoops, and it has very stubby bows, and what that's going to do is that's not going to give you a lot of reserve buoyancy in the bow and the stern. So in big weather, you're going to have a higher likelihood of pitch pulling, but that's just speculation. You look at a lot of catamaran designs when they're first built, they're shorter, and then as they go on, they keep the same general boat, but they actually they add length to the bows and the sterns. And I think I would like to see this boat in a version that comes 4 feet longer, 2 feet added to the sterns and 2 feet added to the bows. And I think that might be a better boat for a little bit more offshore work. But the way that it sits right now, it fulfills a purpose, it fulfills a niche in the market. From what I can see, we'll see how it sails when we sail it, but I would take it to the Bahamas, I would take it to the Caribbean. I probably wouldn't cross an ocean in it.
That's what's interesting about these newer builds, these newer boats, is you don't have the performance record to really reference. Like, you know, some boats have been sailing for ever. But with this, it's so new. I'm really intrigued to see how it's going to perform.
Yeah, and I would say that probably not going to be the fastest catamaran on the water. You know, this boat was designed for accommodations first, and I think performance second.
So if you're interested in hearing more about its sailing performance, make sure you stay tuned for our next video. It'd be helpful if you hit the notification bell and you'll be notified when that video comes out.
The information for Smart Cat, as well as the information for USA Yacht Export, is going to be in the description below of this video.
As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and a comment down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to follow along with our journey. And if you want to know each and every time we upload a video, go ahead and hit the notification bell.
See you guys.
Bye.
I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my lesson hanging on. sit here with me by the fire and let